I haven't actually done a video before, so I'm really sorry if this is terrible. I have been asked by Kirsty and Morgan and Kath to do something for the virtual Zine Fest next week. So that's what I'm going to do. I did consider talking about some of my favourite zines, but I thought that if I did that I would leave somebody out and then I'd feel really bad about it. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to talk about my own zines. My zines are available on Etsy. My username is Clumsy Kisses, or if you wanted to tweet me, you can do that. I'm at Cheap Rhyme, but I'm sure that they will link to me. I have been a zinester for about 7 or 8 years now, I think. As a teenager, I read a lot of zines, but I didn't ever make one. So it wasn't until I was sort of 20-something, 26, 27, that I started to think about making my own zines. And I started my zine, which is Opinionated Nobody. I'm now on, I think I've just done issue 15 of that, but I can't get it photocopied at the moment because I'm not at work, so I'm going to have to wait. So these are the ones that I still have of mine. Some of the early ones I don't reprint anymore, but I have issue 9, which is covered in beach huts. Issue 9.5, which was just a lot of stuff that was left over from 9. It's quite thick. I have 10, which was about fashion. I am plus sized and I wear a lot of dresses, so I wrote about some of my favourite dresses. I actually really like this one, but it doesn't sell very well. Issue 11 was a 24-hour zine, which I'd never written before. I think that's from July 2018. I can't remember. Issue 13 and issue 14, which is just from last year. My perzines tend to be a mishmash of anything that's been going on at the time, so they're not themed at all, they're just what's going on. I generally do them in a 6 size. Then I have a lot of zines about music. I really like music. It's something that I write about a lot. It's something that I write about, both life writing, fiction, all kinds of things. I really like music. So quite a few years ago I wrote a zine about the Manic Street Preachers. It's I think it's 50 pages long. It's absolutely huge. It has a couple of essays from some other Manics fans in it, and it has a lot of stuff about people that I met through the Manics, including my partner. We met in the Manic Street Preachers chat room when I was 16. Different songs I like, the times I've seen them. I want to do the same like this, but with the Libertines, but I'm finding that harder to put into words for some reason. I think because they have meant so much to me for a lot longer than the Manics did. Recently I published this, which is called The Tracks of My Years. This was inspired by a zine called Sticky Sounds, which I would really tell you to check out. I read it at Salford Zine Library, which I would also tell you to check out when we can go again. That's in the middle of Manchester. So I took 15 songs that I really like and wrote about them, and why I love them. And I really like this zine because I did it all on black paper, so it's all white writing on black paper from the middle, which I really like as an aesthetic. So that's just from the beginning of this year. I think Sticky Sounds did 12 songs, but I couldn't cut myself down, so I did 15. I wrote a zine about the band Leftover Crack, who I really liked for a long time, but I've kind of now got quite pissed off with. So that quite often sells to punks. I wrote a zine last year about London Calling by The Clash because it was its 40th anniversary. I'm a big Clash fan. I kind of want to write about The Clash and what they mean to me in the same way that I did about the Manics, but I kind of feel like I said a lot of it in London Calling, so it kind of, the two might need to come together and you could buy a pack. I wrote a zine about Bruce Springsteen. There's a lot of zines about Bruce Springsteen, you might be aware. So there's just about me and my kind of experiences with Bruce. I wrote, and then So that's my music zines. And then I have a zine called Shy Punk and its sister, Shy Punk 2. And there'll possibly be a Shy Punk 3 at some point. They're kind of about things that are punk that you might not think are punk, like Johnny Cash, for example, gardening, crafting, that kind of thing. And then kind of people that aren't punk that we've cancelled, such as the King Blues and TERFs, people we don't want. And finally, I published this year. It's called Not Everything is a Love Letter. I read a lot of young adult fiction because that's what I write, and I read a thing. Not everything is a love poem. You don't need to write a love poem to your favourite clothes, to periods, to muddy days, to the bus that takes the coast road into town, to the hands of a girl who'd never love you back, even if you thought for a second that you loved her. And I actually thought, no, I'm going to write love letters to those things, so I did write love letters to my favourite clothes and periods and the coast road into town and things like that. That is enough time I have spent talking, so I'll go now. But again, if you're interested in any of these zines, please do contact me. Thank you. Bye.